cross-legged Sukhasana. Sitting up tall with the crown of the head towards the ceiling. And if the cross-legged position gets uncomfortable, you are welcome to straighten your legs or even kneeling position. So these are always options. You know, some people feet are sore, hips are sore, whatever the case may be. So if you want to even kneel, for me this is really uncomfortable because it means the front of the feet are flat. But these are all options. Should you choose our legs straight. So we're going to rest our hands on our thighs, and again, option here is to have the palms down or the palms up. And if the palms are up, we take Shi Mudra, which is the forefinger and the thumb touches. And this is a hand gesture mudra. So it's to help with concentration, Shi Mudra. And there's lots of different hand gestures, but we'll just stick to the basics one. So for this evening, we're just going to close our eyes, do a little bit of centering, coming away from our busy days, our busy lives. And everybody has their own little routines and responsibilities. So whatever they are, you can just park them to one side. And it doesn't mean that you have to stop the brain. We're not trying to stop our brain from functioning or working. The brain is still an organ, just like any other organ in our body. We need it. It's not about stopping. We just want to take a moment to focus on our breath. Becoming aware of our breath so that we are no longer stimulated by the outside, the external environment. Just connecting and listening to the ebb and flow of our breath. And trying to move from a shallow, short breath to a longer inhale and exhale. And we try to equal the lengths of both our in-breath and our out-breath. So if you're not sure if you have lengthened your breath enough, the minimum of count of 4 is what we try to work towards, and then possibly moving up to 6 or even 7, both in and out. Then as we are fully aware of our breath, we start to just do a little scan from the crown of our head all the way down to our toes. Just noticing if we're holding any tension in our body, in our face perhaps, squeezing our cheeks, or our eyes are really close, shut tight. Just try to soften our features on our face, soften our shoulders, lifting our heart, and maybe drawing the belly in a little to support our upright position. Ourselves a good check into how we feel. Quite often we're so busy in our lives with work, school, family life, friends, etc. It's quite rare that we take an opportunity in our day to check into ourselves. So this is your opportunity now that you're on your mat. Let's have a little check-in. Any niggles or pain, take your breath to that space. One more. In and out. Take a breath in. And on the exhale, bow your chin into your chest. Keep relaxing the shoulders, sitting up tall. And you can choose if you want to open your eyes now or keep them closed for just a small rotation of the nose all the way around. Making a full circle with your nose in one direction, it doesn't matter which. And then once you've made one full circle, change your direction to make another. And release Shri Mudra, just wiggle your fingers, start bringing energy into the hands, and then clench your fist and release. And again, if you want to change your position, you are so welcome to do so, don't be afraid. And then shaking out your wrist, and lifting your hands, and flex, and drop. That's it, just warm up the wrists. And then circle one direction, and then the other. Shake them out. And then make big circles with your shoulders, starting to work into your shoulder joints. Good. And remember, when you bring your shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades back together. That's it, lovely. Opening up the chest and the heart. Good. One more. Now take your hands into your fingertips. We call this prong fingers. Behind each hips, and then squeeze the shoulder blades. So that will help your heart to lift. And then a little back bend. Lift your gaze, look up. Good. Breathing in. And breathing out. Sit up tall. You're going to float your arms all the way up to the ceiling, breathing in. And on the out breath, you're going to rotate round to your right. Dropping the hands just to the floor. Just a gentle seated rotation. And then back up, breathing in. Breathing out over to the other side. Slow and steady breaths. Breathe in, lifting up. Breathing out. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Rotate back to center. Take your hands once again back behind your hips and then release your legs. Release your legs. Okay, so you're going to take your right leg behind. Right leg behind. So, if you can, you see what way we're going. So, have the foot a few inches away from your body, so you're not bringing the foot all the way in. Good. Now, your left leg, you're going to open it out, the knee to the side. Okay, now if it's too much, then just keep your legs straight, one leg straight. Bear with as I show you this movement first. So from here, you're going to lift both knees up to the ceiling, and then move it over to the side. I'll show you one in a second, okay, Mark? And then lift it back to the ceiling, and then over to the other side. So you're using your hands for support, lifting up and over. So basically, it's moving into the hips. So Margaret, you're going to take your legs out wide, and then you're going to move from side. That's it. Good. From side to side. Good. That's it. So rather, if you're doing this version, take your feet away from your body, so they're a good distance apart. Okay, so you're moving into the hips. And if you're in this version, you're bringing your knees all the way down to the floor, to the ceiling, and then over to the other side. Good. Now just so bear with, if you're doing this version and it feels okay, you feel quite comfortable, take your block away, move it to one side. Okay. Sit up tall without your block, and we're not going to use our hands, okay? So we're going to move through center and all the way over to the other side. So you will be moving around your mat, back to center and all the way over to the other side. Okay, that's it. Okay, so for you guys, you're going to move over to one side. Yeah, off your block. Yeah, so your feet are away, over to one side, and then try lifting one leg, left and forward, so you're working into the hip. Okay, that's it. Good. Good. And again. And then over to the other side. Keep going, everybody. That's it. Good. That's it. Good. Okay. And one more. That's it. And then back to center. You do the other side. Just keep even the score. That's it. Good. So you're working into the hip. Okay, so from here we're going to rock all the way onto our hands and knees for tabletop position. So that was a seated version working into the hips, and now this is a tabletop version. So we're going to stack our shoulders above our wrists, spreading our hands out wide, making sure that your middle fingers pointed towards the front of your mat, stacking your hips above your knees. And for this one, actually for the hip rotations, we're going to bring the knees in closer than our hips, so narrower than our hips. We're going to take the right knee in towards our chest, and then bring the right knee out to the right. Take the right knee all the way behind, and then bring it back in. Good. So you don't have to lift the foot too much, because we don't want it going too much into the spine. We want the focus on the hips. So even here, close your eyes, visualize that socket, that hip joint, and creating the full rotation with the leg. Not bringing it up too high at the back, because we just want the hips to be working the most, more so than the leg. Good. Spreading your hands out wide so we're creating that base for support. Hugging the forearms in so that you are using the strength of your arms. That's it. More. Good. And one more time. And then we're going to start to move in the opposite direction. So bringing the knee back and then out to the right, in towards your right elbow, and then center. So just do it 4 times each way. Back, to the right, to the elbow, and center. 2 more. That's it. And again, you don't have to make it too big, just work it into the socket of the joint in the hip. Good. And then once you've done about 4 each way, then sit back on your heels, just shake out the hands, shake out the wrists, just to give them a break. And then when you're ready, come back into tabletop. So the knees are narrower than your hips because we're working into the hip socket. Now just in relation to the arms, I just want you to look up 1 second. Rather than have this happening, try to hug the forearms in and the biceps. Okay, these are the biceps. We want to slightly rotate them away, ever so slightly. Okay, so you're hugging the triceps, which is here. The triceps, you want to hug them in, the forearms in, and biceps. So it's a little intricate movement. Okay, good. Spread your hands out wide and really press your hands into the floor. If anybody has any hypermobility, ever so slightly, Kelly, have you hypermobility in your joints? I think you might have a wee bit. If you do, just have a slight bend in your elbow. If you're someone who has hypermobility, I can't see with your top, but I'll check in a wee way. Because it is, if you're hypermobility, it's actually harder to strengthen your muscles because your joints are flexible, okay? So, anyway, we're going on to the other side. Yeah, you are. So just have your middle finger spread and an ever so slight bend in your elbows. Yeah, okay? So, bringing the left knee in, bringing it out to the left, bringing the left knee behind, with control, that's it, and then bring it all the way in without stopping on the floor. Into the chest, out to the left, round to the back, and all the way back into center. 2 more times. So 4 in total, one way, and then 4 in the other direction. Good, keep hugging in the forearms. Try not to bend into that right, because then the right shoulder will start to dip. Tuck in the tailbone ever so slightly, and support your spine by drawing the navel in, so everything's active. Good. Once you have completed 4 rounds in both directions, then sit back on your heels when you're ready, and again just circle the hands one way, then the other way. Shaking it out. And then back to tabletop. Checking our alignment, stacking our shoulders, stacking our hips so the knees are now hip distance apart. And we're going to warm up the spine. So drop the belly button down, head up, tailbone up, spreading the chest, opening up the collarbones. Breathe and out, tucking the tailbone in, tucking in the chin, pushing the heart up to the spine, breathing in. Exhale. This is called Madhyasana, cat pie. Breathe and then keep hugging in those forearms, rotating your biceps, good, lovely. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. The movement of your spine should match the length of your breath. And once you've completed 4 or 5 rounds, come back to a neutral spine. And we're going to tuck the toes of both feet under, and we're going to bring our sit bones back towards our heels, and then take our body weight forward. So a few times just rocking back and forward. Draw the navel in, so stretching the toes, stretching the soles of the feet. 1 more. Stay here if this is enough. If you want to work a wee bit deeper, walk the hands in towards the knees, coming up onto your heels. The toes are tucked under. And just roll out the shoulders a few times. And then we're going to take our arms shoulder distance apart and flex our hands. Now I want you to visualize holding a golden pea between your shoulder blades. Okay, you're holding a pea and you don't want to drop that pea, so squeeze those shoulder blades, good. And then we're going to pulse these arms back for 10, 9, 8, 7, keep squeezing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then you're going to rotate your palms, reach up to the ceiling and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn your palms down and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn the palms to the back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And turn your palms towards me. 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Repeat all again. Money jump. Taking the weight away, and then we're just going to pad these toes. So the idea of the arms is to take your awareness and attention away from your feet so you don't feel it heinous and the pain. Did it work? For 10 seconds. Well done. Right, so we're back to tabletop position and we're going to move into plank. So we're going to take the right leg out behind, the toes tucked under so they're nice and warm now. And then take the left leg out behind. Now, in plank, you want to keep everything active. So we want to lift the knees, squeeze those thighs, tuck in your tailbone, draw the navel in, and in plank, it's the only pose where I'm asking you to bring your ribs down to your hips and bring your hips up to your ribs. So like an accordion, you're squeezing everything in the torso. Don't collapse, don't collapse. Stay here. Good. Now push your heart to my finger. Push your heart to, no, push your heart to me. Yes, yes. There you go. Good. Hold it in there. A wee bit more. Push your heart towards me. Heart, heart, heart. Yes. Good. Breathe. Beautiful. Now, from here, we're going to lower the right knee to the floor. But don't touch those hot coals underneath the right knee. Don't touch the floor. And then straighten the right knee and lower the left to the hot coals. Or what is it? Hot lava. Hot lava. And then straighten the left. Right. Straighten. Keep squeezing that belly. Left. 2 more. You can do it. Right. And left. Good. Lower the knees. Come on to your knees. Well done. Just one wee word of encouragement. The mind gives up before the body. Okay? So it's the mind telling you, like, oh, this is really hard. I can't do it. Oh my God, oh my God. Okay? So the body goes into panic. If you change that mindset to, this is actually not too bad. This is really, really good. Oh, I can hold this forever and a day. You will. Okay? So if you're here and you go, oh my God, oh my God, this is so hard. Oh my God, is she going to come? Have a little more? Oh my God. Guess what? Okay? So change the mindset and you will be able to do it. Okay? So let's do it again. So I'm so positive. So come back to your tabletop position. Draw that navel in. Extend out the right leg. Extend out the left leg. Hug the forearms in. Spread your hands out wide. Now for anybody who's recent illness and feels a little bit on the shaky side, please drop your knees, okay, into half plank. But for everybody else, no, don't drop any knees. So, yeah, hard, hard, hard. No, no, push, push. Yes. You see? Such a difference. Okay, hug those forearms in. Good, Kate. Hips in line with shoulders, in line with heels. Now, what are you thinking? Positivity. Breathe. Squeeze the belly. Ribs in to the hips, hips to the ribs. One more. Gorgeous. Lower the knees. Slightly better? Yeah? Good. Okay. So I'm not sadistic monster. Okay. Step up with your right foot. Bring your hands to your hips. So we're on kneeling, and when you take one foot in front of the other, this is called railway tracks. Okay, it's the same as standing. So this is low lunge, and when you come to a high lunge or crescent stance, your feet are still on your railway tracks. Now, if you're someone who balance is not really good, you bring your front foot on either side wider. So you make the stance wider. So you come off your railway tracks, okay? So remember that from the floor to standing, always widen or narrow your stance depending on your mobility. So we're taking that right foot beyond our right knee. It's a little bit in front of the right knee. Draw the navel in, tuck in the tailbone. So at the moment you might be here because that's a natural position. So we want to activate our corset. So tuck in the tailbone, draw the navel in, Don't flare the ribs, keep the ribs in, and then start to bring the body weight forward. Now, depending on your mobility, you might be back here, that's okay, I'm right here. If you have a little bit more stretch in the hip flexor and the quad, then sink the hips. So in our lunges and in our standing postures, there are opposing positions of the body. So the top half is always reaching up, and the bottom half is always reaching down, okay? And this is what strengthens the legs and lengthens the body, okay? So from here, breathe in, and on the breath out, bring the hips back. We're going to do that again. Breathe in, coming forward, sink the hips, and on the breath out, come back. One more time. Breathe in. And on the out breath, rather than bringing our hips back, we're going to tuck the toes of the back foot under. Good. And this will intensify the quad. Yeah? So narrow the stance. Narrow the stance. Tuck the toes of the back foot under. Okay? That's it. Now ensure when you're looking down that your right ankle is underneath your right knee. If your right foot is here and the knee's here, you're going to hurt your knee. Okay? Good. Tucking the toes of the back foot under will intensify that length of the hip flexor and the quad. One more breath, breathe in. And on the out breath, slowly start to bring the hands to the floor. Now have your blocks nearby. You can place your hands on two blocks if you can't reach the floor. So this is the base side, the medium side, and the high side. Okay, so you decide. Good. One more breath. Breathe in. Good. And on the out breath, try to lift the back knee away from the floor. So this is coming into high lunge, but stay low in the torso. Stay low in the torso. Okay? So just check your position of your knee. If your knee has gone beyond your ankle, bring your knee back. One more breath. Breathe in. And on out breath, lower the left knee, untop your toes, bring your hips back, and slowly slide your right foot back. Back to a kneeling position. Good. So it might feel a little bit funny in the hips because we're worked that right side. Now we're going to equal the feeling. Left foot comes up in front. Beyond your left knee, and then widen your stance if you need to. Hands on your hips. Remember the corset. Tuck in the tailbone, draw the navel in, keep your shoulders square, your hips square, and rock the body forward. Breathing in. Now, to take the pressure off the back knee, another thing which I did mention on the other side, is to press the front of your back foot into the mat. So it takes away the pressure off the knee. Good. And then as you exhale, bring the hips back. Breathing in. Press into the front foot. Press into the left big toe. Breathing out. One more time. Breathing in. Now, if you cannot just tuck your toes of the back foot under in this position, you can always bring your hands to the blocks and then tuck the toes of the back foot under. Okay? But we want to then take the hands away from the blocks back to our waist so we can feel a little bit more length in that right quad. Everybody okay? Keep breathing. Keep releasing. One more, breathe in. And on the out breath, bring your hands to the high, mid or low blocks or floor, depending on your mobility. That's it. Now wherever you are, take a deep breath in, press that left big toe into the mat, and then lift the back knee away. Into runner's lunge or high lunge. That's it. That's it. So you could be here, and that's fine. Now what we want to do is lift that back knee, straighten the back leg, the heel is lifted, all 10 toes facing in front of your mat. Good. One more breath. Breathe in. And on the out breath, slowly drop the knee, untuck the toes, and then slide the left foot back. Good. Take your blocks just either side of your mat. Hands onto the floor, and then rock your torso all the way down onto prone position. Hands is either side of your chest. Toes are pointed, just hip distance apart. Toes are pointed. Yeah. Pointed, that's it. Roll the shoulders away from the ears so we have a nice long neck. Draw the navel in, same action we did in our kneeling. Draw the navel in, squeeze the bum cheeks, slide the nose and chin forward, and then use your hands to lift the chest away from the floor. Elbows in, elbows in. Beautiful. Breathe in, hold it there. This is Cobra Bhujangasana. Exhale, lower. Inhale, think of the corset. Action off the tailbone, the belly. And then on the exhale, slide the nose and chin forward. Lift the heart. Inhale, hold. Elbows in. Exhale, lower. Don't forget about the glutes, the bum cheeks. One more time. Inhale, corset. Don't lift, don't lift, don't lift. Inhale, corset. Tailbone, belly. Exhale, lift. Push into the floor. Good. Inhale, hold it. Exhale, lower. Okay, so look up for a wee second. I just want you to check this out. Turn around so everybody can see. Sometimes if we have weakness in our arms, what happens is the tension comes into our shoulders. So activating the corset, tucking in everything, and then you push into the floor and this happens. Okay? So all that's happening is all the strength is going into the shoulders and nothing's going into the spine, nothing's going into the back. So we want, rather than trying to lift, and be like this, just squeeze everything, tuck in the tailbone, draw the navel in, slide the nose and chin, and as you're sliding the nose and chin, bring the shoulder blades back, squeeze the shoulder blades, and just lift an inch or two off the floor. Until you build the strength in your triceps to lift and build the strength in the spine, in the muscles, okay? So one more time, just so make sure everybody's aligned with this. Good. Hands either side of your chest. So a little bit lower, like as if you're going down towards your waist, more so than up. Okay. Spreading the hands out wide, and your palm, everything is on the mat. Right. Corset. Inhale, tuck in your tailbone, draw the navel in, squeeze the bum cheeks, and on the exhale, slide the nose and chin, press the hands into the floor, and lift only an inch or two. Keep looking down so you're not getting it into the neck. Beautiful, Margaret. Good. That's it, Kelly. Much better, everybody. Breathe in, hold, exhale, lower. Does anybody notice the difference? You know, in your action? Yeah. So if you keep doing that, as opposed to taking it all into the shoulders, you will strengthen the right muscles. You're engaging the right muscles. And over time, you'll be able to lift even higher. So at the moment, you may not go up high. It doesn't matter. You're using the right muscles. Okay? One more time so that we get it into our bodies. Breathe in, corset. Exhale. Nose and chin. Press into the hands. Using your triceps. Elbows in. Beautiful. Keep looking down. Gorgeous. Breathe in, hold. Breathe out lower. Such a difference. Good. Now, we're going to use those triceps again, but this time we're tucking the toes under. We're going to push up into a half plank. Tuck the toes under. Corset, tuck in the tailbone. Draw the belly in. Squeeze the bum cheeks. Elbows in. Slide the nose and chin, and then push up. So you're not coming into a back bend. You're going to push up into a half plank. That's it, half plank. And if that's too much, you roll over to your side. And you bring one knee, lifting. Okay, so you're in your half plank, in your half plank. The sweat is happening. I love it. This is what I like to see. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees, plank. And now downward dog. Stepping up into our first downward dog. Bend both knees, feet hip distance apart. Please bend your knees. Please bend your knees. Bend your knees is not doing it wrong. Some people think, oh, bend your knees. No, can't be, it can't be. Feet distance, hip distance apart. Make sure your knees are in line with your heels. I'm coming behind because I'm checking knees and not checking bums. Good. Beautiful. A wee bit narrow, Margaret. Your hips are not that wide. Good. Good, good, good. Beautiful. And breathe. So remember the mindset in plank, where we change from the negative to the positive. In downward dog, again, change the negative to the positive. Hug the forearms in, same as we did in tabletop. Biceps, rotate away. Looking at the space between our knees, press our hands, all 5 digits, into the mat. Use every digit. Thumbs, forefingers, middle finger. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Maria, so much better. Keep those ribs in. Keep them in. Yeah. One more breath. Breathe in. And on the out breath, lower the knees to the mat. Such good students. Okay. Because sometimes what happens, okay, lots of things happen. So people think, oh, I have to get my heels down, I have to get my legs straight, and this is what happens, okay? So by bending the knees, beautiful spine And that's what I've seen there now, which is fantastic. Also what happens quite often is when people want to get a lovely long spine, what happens is the ribs, so you might be able to see that much in this top, the ribs come forward. And what happens when the ribs come forward? So does all the organs, so does the back ribs come forward, okay? So we want to keep the spine nice and long, hips to the sky, and all your organs protected, okay? And we protect that by keeping our ribs in place and our belly in place. Because if we are doing the fluttering of the ribs in downward dog and lying on the floor, etc., this is what we take to when we come to our standing postures, okay? When we come to crescent, the ribs come out, we're creating that banana shape in our spine. So I want ribs in, belly in, tailbone tucked. Nice elongation of the spine, okay? So one more time. Hands, wrists underneath the shoulders, toes tucked, knees, hover, and then lift the hips. Heels are drawn down, but the knees can stay bent. Beautiful. Now think into your ribs. Erin, you have such a beautiful long legs, so you can afford to bring your hands a little bit further forward, yeah? Which means you have to work a wee bit harder, but that's good. Ribs in, belly in. Knees are bent. Long, steady breaths, just like you did at the very start of the class. Toes in line with heels. One more breath. Breathe in. And on the out breath, bend your knees deeply and lift your gaze to the front of your mat. So that's your destination. You want to take a step up, big or small, all the way up to the front of your mat. And if big is too much right now, then you take a little incremental steps. All the way so that the feet are slightly wider than your hips, toes in line with heels. And I want you to straighten your spine, straighten your legs, and lift your gaze. So straighten your spine, straighten your legs. Feet and legs are wider than your hips. So a wee bit wider than Maria. Yeah, wider, wider, wider. A wee bit wider. That's it. Good. So we're going for nice, juicy, wide hips. Good. So the spine is long and the legs are long. From here, keeping that length in your spine, I want you to bend your knees deeply. Your hands will slide down. Now, if it's too much with your hands sliding down, you can place your hands onto your high blocks. But I want you to bend your knees deeply, coming into somewhat of a squat. And what happens now, your belly part is starting to go onto your thighs. And that's what I want to happen. So then I want the rest of your torso to melt onto your thighs, folding all the way over your legs. With a deep bend, toes, wee bit narrow, okay, but that's a bit too wide, sorry, I'm hard to please. Toes aligned with heels and melt. Allow the head to be heavy, your head's the highest parts, yeah? So you're melting your front body all the way over your legs. Good, breathing in, breathing out. So, did you do the belly? It just reminds me of my dog. So have your toes in line with your heels, she's like this for everything. I'm just playing havoc with her mind. One more breath, everybody. Knees over hips. Knees over hips. One more breath, breathe in. And on the out breath, start to roll up from the base of your spine. Knees are still bent deeply. Stacking each vertebrae one at a time. All the way up to standing. Good, good, good. Good. And if you've left your blocks on your mat, just take them out to one side. Yep, so you don't trip on them. Good. We're going to do a very slow Surya Namaskar, which we worked on last week. We're going to do that again. If you are someone who needs your blocks, so for example, when we move into a forward fold, and rather than the floor, you need the blocks, keep your blocks here. And then when we step back to our plank, if you need to use your blocks rather than the floor, okay? So just have your blocks nearby. Feet hip distance apart, so narrower than what we were just working on. Toes in line with heels. Good. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart. This is Tadasana Mountain, so you're already engaging the legs, lifting the knees, squeezing the thighs, tucking in the tailbone, drawing the knee in, ribs in, heart, lift the shoulders down. Okay, just like that. Okay, breathe and reach the arms up, extended mountain, hands come together, look up at your thumbs. Swan dive. Now, as you're swan diving, you don't go back to your heels because you're scared to go into the water. No, you go head first into the water, coming onto the balls of the front of your feet, diving forward. Bend your knees if you need to, all the way down, forward fold, just like we did, pressing the front body onto the thighs. Half lift, hands to your shins, Straighten the spine, straighten the legs. Squeeze the bum cheeks. And then forward fold. Bend the knees, melt the front body onto the thighs. Hands to the floor or to the blocks. Stepping back with your right, and if you can't get to the back of your mat, then take little steps. And then join it with the left. Stay in plank for a breath in. Squeeze everything, we've worked on our plank. And then drop our knees, half plank. Now we're going to use these triceps that we've been working. So lower the top half of your body, melt it all the way down to the floor with control. Don't collapse like a caterpillar. Good. Roll the shoulders away from your ears. Let us see your nice long neck. Squeeze the bum cheeks, tuck in the tailbone. Lift the heart away. Remember what we did? So we don't come into the shoulders, shoulders back, and we lift our heart. Keep looking down. Gorgeous. Tuck the toes under. Draw the navel in, tuck in the tailbone, push up, half plank. Good. Lift the knees, plank. Lift the hips, downward dog. And we're going to hold downward dog, Adho Mukha Shavasana for 5 breaths. Breathe in, 1. Keep the knees bent. Breathe out. Breathe in, 2. Press the hands into the floor. Spread the hands out wide. Breathe in, 3. Ribs in, belly in. Tuck in the tailbone ever so slightly more. Yes. Good. Nice long spine. Breathe in, 4. You can do it. Change the mind. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And on exhale, bend your knees. Little or big, step up to the front of your mat. So lift your gaze, look up. Yeah, half lift. So big step up, so you go right, then your left, half lift. Okay, so if you're using your blocks, you're here, you're here. So you bend your knees, you lift your gaze. You can do little steps all the way up, and then half lift. Okay? Breathe out, fold, hands to the floor or to your blocks, and then lifting the torso, the top half of your body, all the way up to extend a mountain, drawing everything in the torso, then slide down your midline, hands to your heart. Second side, inhale. Exhale, swan dive. Remember, coming forward, bend your knees to reach your hands to the floor or to your blocks. Half lift. Hands to your shins, straighten the spine, straighten the legs, breathing in. Breathe out, fold, hands to blocks or to the floor. Now you're taking a big step back with the left or little step, depending on your mobility. And then join it with the right into a plank. Drop the knees. Keep that navel super active, hug the forearms in, and then lower the top half of your body all the way to the mat. Now remember, we worked on this. Draw the navel in, move your blocks out of the way. Draw your navel in, tailbone in. Squeeze the bum cheeks, shoulders away from the ears, push the floor away, keep looking down. And then melt the chest. Tuck the toes under, push the floor away. Half plank, which is a yoga press up. Good. Lift the knees, lift the hips, stepping up into your downward dog. Knees are bent. Lovely. Use the hands. Scan your body. Yeah, that's it. Hips to your highest point. Good. Breathe. 4. 1 more. Breathe in. 5. On exhale, bend your knees, lift your gaze. Now keep your arms straight as you either choose a big step with one left and then right, or little steps all the way up to the front of your mat. Hands can come onto the blocks, forward fold. And then straighten the legs, straighten the spine. Half lift, hands come to your shins or your thighs if they're here. Exhale, fold. Melt the front body onto the thighs. Bend your knees. And then push the floor away with the feet. And the arms and the hands come all the way to extend a mountain. And then in front of your heart. Good. Bring your feet and your legs together. Keep your hands at your heart. Feet and your legs together. So 2 become 1. And then we're going to bend our knees and slowly tilt our torso forward. Tilt our torso forward. So squeeze the legs together, feet together, legs together. So have a look down. If your feet are turned out, bring them in. Good, lovely. So this is called squat, Utkatasana. Now you can choose if you want to keep your arms here, because once you lift them it can intensify the position, or extend them all the way out in front, palms facing one another. Good, that's it. Now we want the palms facing each other and the thumbs going back. So we're trying to lift the arms, good, but not sinking the lumbar spine. Good. So tuck in the tailbone, draw the navel in, super challenging. Good. Lift the heart and your beautiful faces. Good. No need to look at the floor, there's no money down there. Keep looking up. That's it. Beautiful. Fix your gaze. Turn the corners up. And enjoy it. Lovely. One more breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. No one straighten those legs. No one straighten those legs. Bring your hands to your heart. Gorgeous. Now take the weight over to your left foot. And then your right foot is slightly loosened away from the floor. Keep your balance as you take a step back. Stay bent in that left leg. When you turn around this way. Stepping back with the right. And then take the weight a wee bit more onto the ball of the right foot. And then straighten the torso. Present. Keep that front knee bent. And then reach the arms up to the ceiling. Ribs in, belly in. Tucking in the tailbone. So you're feeling limp and stretch in that quad. And the right hip flexor. Try to straighten the back leg. That's it. So even wider for you, I'm afraid, Erin, because you're so tall. One more breath. Breathe in. And on the out breath, we're not standing up, we're going to rotate right to the left. So opening up the left arm to the back of the room, right arm to the front of the room. This is a crescent twist. Breathe in. Breathe out, back to center. One more. Breathe in. Keep that left knee bent, and if you need to widen the stance, don't forget you can widen the stance. Open it out as you exhale. Draw the navel in. Breathe in. Exhale, back to center. Bring our hands in front of our heart in prayer. Lean, load into that left leg. Step up with the right, back to our squat. Don't straighten those legs. Back to our squat. Squeeze the bum cheeks. And then straighten. Okay, back to our squat. Squat, squat, squat. Hands can stay in your heart, or you can even take them to your waist, or reach them up to work that even more. Okay, breathe. Long and steady. So we try to introduce that at the very start of the class and maintain that breath. Your breath is your friend. Good, beautiful. Have a look down and see your toes. Bring your toes and your legs together. Make sure you can see your 10 toes. As you sink those hips, squat. Squat, squat, squat. Comfy chair. Good. Now we're going to take this time the weight to the right foot. Weight to the right foot. Now start to loosen the left away from the floor. You're going to step back with the left leg. Stay loaded into that right. Once you get the toes to the floor of the left foot, then come onto the ball of the foot and then lift the torso. Once you're here, reach the arms up or keep them on your waist. Tuck in the ribs and the belly and the tailbone. So this is crescent. Now have a look down. Make sure your right knee is not over your toes. Keep the knee above your ankle. So you may need to take a wider stance, or a longer stance, sorry. And if balance is not you tonight, widen your stance. Heel toe the front foot out. Good. So we're going to do that sequence on to the other side. Breathe in. And on the exhale, without moving the legs, we're rotating. Round to the right. Right arm goes back, left arm. So we're challenging our balance as well. Breathe in back to center, and if too much with the arms, keep it on your waist. Breathe out, rotate. Keep that right knee not going to the right, keep it going in. Back to center, one more time. Breathe in. Exhale, round to the right. Inhale, hold. Exhale, back to center. Bring your hands to your heart. Lean and load into that right leg. And then start to soften the back to your squat. Sink. Good, Utkatasana. Good, feet together, legs together. Squeeze. Squeeze the bum cheeks. Beautiful. One more breath. Breathe in. I'm going to be told evil here. I'm going to ask you to lift your heels away from the floor. Legs are shaking. Good. I love that. Muscles are working. One more breath. Breathe in. Breathe out lower. The heels. Just the heels. Keep the knees bent. One more time. Lift the heels. Lift the heels. Good. Squeeze those legs. You need 2 legs to become 1. Breathe in. Breathe out lower. Squat. And then straighten. Is that a nice feeling in your thighs? Lovely. Gorgeous. You'll love me tomorrow.
Just open that window.
And if you need to open that door, there's a wee door there as well. And and the back door. Okay, so standing posture is all about strengthening the legs. These are big, juicy muscles, yeah? And it takes a lot of work to get them strong. And we need strong legs because then it has a knock-on effect the rest of the body to support our spine, our torso. So if the legs, I'm not saying you're weak, but if you don't keep the leg strength, then slowly, over time, the rest of the body has a knock-on effect, okay? Lower back issues, middle back issues, the shoulders start to round. So we need to keep our posture nice and lifted, nice and tall, and we do that from the strength of our legs, okay? So we're going to do a wee balance. No, we're not actually, we're going to do a wee sequence. Okay, so we're going to step back with our right leg, back to our left, and then if you're balanced, heel toe, option, or railway track legs, and then we're going to rotate round to the right. So right shoulder, right hip, right heel. Rotates left knee between two concrete blocks. Does it move? Right foot, left foot, left knee doesn't move. As the right rotates round. That's it. So drop a knee. So when you look down at the feet, what you're allowed to do when you're learning, you check your position of your heels. So your back heel should be in line with your front heel, or the arch. So your heel can be in line with your arch of your foot, or your back heel. Okay, good. So once you're happy enough, oh, it's just looking very good down there. Then lift your head. Lift your head. And then reach the arms out and rotate your gaze round to the left. These shoulders have a tendency to do this because we're just so tense. Then just try to relax as you breathe out. Now keep that left knee bent because again we're strengthening these legs. My hair is literally doing my head in tonight. So I wished it back. So freaking plenty. So keep that front knee bent. The front knee must be over the ankle. Sometimes we have a tendency to allow that knee to come in because it just makes the job easier. But over time then that knee will cave and it will hurt. Okay? Good. So if you have a chance, don't be afraid to look at the knee and go, no, you're not supposed to be there. You're supposed to be here. Okay, from here, from warrior two, here we're dressed in two, the right hand goes to the right thigh, the left hand, palm reaches to the back and reaches up to the ceiling. So this is called reverse warrior. Good. Breathe it in. And on out breath, we're going back to warrior two. That's it, back to warrior two. And then we're going to pivot on our feet. Bring our hands to our waist, straighten the left, and then take the left toes round to the side. Good. So now we're in wide leg stance. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, lift your gaze, and then just like we did when we were diving forward, we're going to dive forward. I don't want to eat the window. We're going to dive forward with a straight spine, straight legs. Only halfway. So then keep lengthening that spine just like you do in table. Gorgeous. Not too low, not too low. There and just come up a bit. So halfway. Good. Bringing your heart towards the floor, shoulders back. That's it, Kelly. Good. Now, keep that in your spine. Perfect, everybody. And bend your knees. Don't collapse the spine. Bend your knees. Keep the feet on the floor and bend your knees. Good. Good, good, good. Now, toes are in line with heels. We're going to straighten the left and keep the right knee bent. So that means we're going to go over to the right. That's it. Then come back to centre, bend in the left, and move over to the left. Keep lengthening that spine. Heart going. Now, that's it. Back to centre, over to the right. Breathing in. Breathe out, back to centre, over to the left. Back to centre. Now, we're going to take the heels in towards each other. Toes rotate out. Keep bending those knees. Straight spine. And now keep those knees bent and straighten the torso. Wide knee squat. Straighten the torso. Good. Shoulders stacked over the hips. Good. We take our hands behind our thighs and hold on to the juicy part of our thighs. Okay? Yep, thighs, that's it. Believe it or not, this is called horse dance. It's charming, isn't it? So then lift the gaze, open the heart, and squeeze the shoulder blades. Horse dance. That's it, good. Beautiful. Legs are talking, and they might be feeling a little bit warmer. And then we're going to release the hands, straighten the torso, and bring the arms up to the ceiling. And this is called goddess pose. No, sorry, this way. Goddess pose. Or star pose. So, and lift your gaze. So from horse to goddess. Yeah. All goddesses. Beautiful. One more breath. Breathe in. And on the out breath, straighten the legs, hands back to your waist, bend into the left, and then step up to the front of your mat. Okay, we're going to do that sequence again on the other side. Take your weight to the right foot, step back to the left, to the back of your mat, or as far back as your body likes. Heel toe options, off right away or on right away. Then we're going to pivot. So left shoulder, left hip, right knee stays above the right ankle. Have a check, look at it. And then start to rotate. Open up the arms, shoulder height. Look at your right knee. Everybody look at your right knee. Make sure your right knee is over your right ankle. Good. Tuck in your tailbone, draw the navel in. Relax the shoulders. Relax the shoulders. So we want to drop that right heel, or left heel, that's it. So you're rotating. Yes, yes, yes. So remember we had a wee kick down, make sure that the heels are in line with one another. The toes are roughly 45 degrees. And your right hip's in front of your left, and the right shoulder's in front of your left shoulder. Good. Tuck in your tailbone and your belly. Beautiful. Breathe in. And everybody on the exhale, relax the shoulders. Don't drop those arms. Keep the arms up. Yeah, good, because we're activating all parts of the body. From here, we're going to drop the left hand to the thigh, reach the right arm up to the ceiling. So we feel a stretch and length from the right armpit to the right hip, the right waist. Good, keep bending into that right knee. Don't straighten the back leg, not the right. And then from here, back to your warrior two. Take your hands to your waist. Take the right toes and bring them round to the left side of the room. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, lift up, and then forward fold, dive forward with your heart. Only halfway, bend the knees, bend the knees. Over to the left, back to center, over to the right, back to center, over to the left, center, right. Center, bend both knees, bring the heels in. Straighten the torso, hands, grip onto the thighs, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the heart, lift your gaze. Good. Stay low in the sit bones. Stay low in the sit bones. Press in your feet into the floor. Good. Straighten, release your hands. Instead of goddess, bring your hands to your hips. You're going to lovely. Lift the heels away. Lift the heels away. Good. Straighten the legs. Heels are lifted, straighten the legs. Lower the heels. Legs are straight. Now rise up, lift the heels, bend the knees, lower the heels, and straighten the legs. One for the brain, as well as a little bit of, not Sudoku, but what's that there, connecting the dots. So, bend the knees, lift the heels, straighten the legs, and then lower the heels, lift the heels, bend the knees, lower the heels, straighten the legs. Fantastic. Well done. Okay, and then sorry about I just jumped down. So from here you totally get the feet in and then step up to the front of your mat. So talking about balance and talking about posture, have a little test. Done this in all the classes this way, so these aren't exempt. So we're going to come on to our knees and everybody grab your foam block. Now, this is a challenge because somewhat successful, somewhat unsuccessful. So, it's just it's a bit of crack, but it's also good to show how much body awareness and how much you use your body to hold the posture, okay? So, coming onto your knees, place your block on your head. Right, so try to get the block, and if you're wearing a high ponytail, I recommend that you take it down. Okay, and then take your hands back. Bring your hands to your waist. There's mine away already. Hands to your waist, and then take your weight over to your left knee, and then take, no, mine's just not going to stay, and then take your right foot up. Try it again, it's not fair, he's all doing it at the moment. Okay. Now, just as before, without the block, we tuck our weight forward. Pressing the front of your left foot into the mat, bringing your weight forward onto your lunge. Now, if you can, try to tuck your toes of your back foot under. And then lift your knee. Lift your knee. Keep. If it falls, just try again. Straighten or come up a little bit away from the floor with the right. And then, this is the test. You start to pivot, lower the left heel down, just as we previously done in our warrior two. Rotating the right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. Open the arms out. warrior two. Then, slowly, straighten the right leg and pivot the right toes round to your left. Slowly, 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 bring your left toes round to the back of the room. Left toes round, pivot. And then bend into that left knee deeply. Beautiful. Now, hands to your waist. Hands to your waist. Lift your right heel away from the floor and bring your right shoulder to the back. Straightening out with your left. So you're rotating to the back of your mat. Back to your high lunge. Then drop your right knee to the mat. Untuck your right toes. Low lunge. I'm not doing it. And then bring your hips back. And take your left foot back to knee. Good. We're going to do it again. We have to bring it all the way back. Step up with your left. So it's really important you do your left the same side. Step up with your left. Bring your hips forward. Tuck your toes of the right foot under. Lift your right knee. High lunge. Start to rotate your right heel down to the mat. Taking your right shoulder back. Taking your right shoulder back and your left shoulder forward. That's it. Open your arms. You're doing fantastic. Open your arms. You're back to your warrior two. You're back to your warrior two. Yeah, that's it. So your right heel is down. It's rotated in. Your right heel. Yes. Now, straighten your left knee. Straighten your left knee. Take your left toes in. Rotate it in. Good. Take your right heel and bring it in. Right toes towards the front of the mat. Right toes towards the front of your mat. Bend your right knee. Take your hands to your waist. Lift your left heel away from the floor. Taking your left shoulder forward. And then drop your left knee to the mat. Untuck your left toes. And slide your right foot back. Easy? Pretty good.
Well done.
Do you see how intense concentration, the movement, yeah? How much you have to engage your body just to keep a blinking flap on your head, okay? So, it's just a wee test. There's no gold medal and there's no money either. But it's good to do. So, I'm afraid we're just going to do one more balance before we come to the floor. I know, oh Jesus, no, I talk too much. Okay, come to the seated position. Two more before we move into our relaxation. Baddha Konasana. So the soles of the feet come together. We can do with the block, but because we're moving from here into another position, it's not recommended to use the block. So, option here is to hold on to the shins, yeah? Bringing the heels somewhat close towards your perineum. It's not too close, okay, good. So option is to hold on to the shins, or have your thumbs on your insteps, wrapping your fingers around, or interlacing your hands and bring them underneath your toes. So whichever position you're at, lift up your heart, so straighten the spine. We're going to take the elbows to the inner parts of our legs, and we're going to use our elbows to open up the legs, push them away, breathing in. And then on the exhale, lift them up, good. Breathing in, push them away, squeeze. Breathing out, release. Good, one more time. Breathing in. Breathing out. At this time we're going to hold them open without forcing too much, not like holding that tension. Just a little bit. As we bring our heart forward, doesn't matter how far forward, that's it. And if you're holding your feet quite easily, you can perhaps take your hands underneath your toes. And then using your hands to pull against your feet is pushing into your hands, that's it, and your knees come apart a wee bit more easily. If you're here and you're quite comfortable, for some of you, you can take your elbows beyond your shins and then start to fold. Start to fold. So everybody's different. If you're here, that's okay, just hold it here. That's it, good. Breathe. Good. This is Baddha Konasana. And one other thing, if you're holding onto your feet, you can take your toes apart. So this is called floating your feet. One more breath. Breathe in. And on the out breath, slowly sit up. Now we're going to bring our heels ever so closely in. So we've been working on our hips quite a lot tonight. Cramp.
left with like.
So point our toes, point our feet, and we're holding onto our ankles. So we're going to bring our hands in underneath, that's it. And then we take our feet away from the floor. A little balance. Now, if that's not possible, option here is to hold on to underneath the knees with the forearms and lift the knees. There you go. That's it. Okay, so there's always options. Good. So if you're here and you're quite comfortable, try to bring your legs a little bit further away. Working your legs open and wide. That's it. Good. If you're here, that's okay. That's only natural. It happens a lot. Good. Keep bringing your knees in. That's it. Good. And if you're here, keep squeezing the knees into the chest. Good. Lovely. Breathe. One more. And then slowly release down. And then we're going to take the legs out wide. Take the legs out wide. Now this is where you do need your full block. I really think this is helpful to elevate your pelvis away from the floor. Sitting on the very edge, and take the legs out wide. So if you're close to your neighbour, just alternate your bodies. That's it. And then grab your two blocks, hopefully they're not too far away. Sorry. And then bring them out in front. So depending on your mobility, so we want to flex the feet. Now if it means then that there's too much strain in the backs of the legs, you can keep the knees bent and the feet are still flexed, okay? Feet are flexed to keep the legs active. You can have your blocks on the high side as we bring our torso forward. So you don't want to try to bring the shoulders forward. It's not about rounding the spine. You want to bring the heart forward. The forearms can rest on the blocks. Depending on your mobility, you can turn the blocks around, rest in your forearms or your hands, whatever feels good for you. But try to see that your toes are pointed up towards the ceiling, even with the legs bent. Because if you are rotating, I actually find it very sore to do that, but if you're rotating the feet, so does the knees rotate and so does the hips. Yeah, we want to keep the toes up. That's it. And breathe. Because we're not moving or shuffling about the place, you can close your eyes. Just take your breath through your hips and your inner adductors. It's the long, thin muscles in your inner leg. Slow the breath down. One more. Maybe flutter your eyelids open because we're going to walk the blocks. Place our hands on top of the blocks and walk them over to your right leg. Walk them over to your right leg. And then take the block, one block over each side of your leg. And then again forward fold over your right leg. Now you might be back here, that's okay. If you can feel enough stretch in this position, just stay here and breathe. So everybody's different, just listen to your body. The strengthening the standing postures helps us to heat the body up, and then when we come to our seated postures, we stretch, we lengthen, so that more blood can flow around the muscles to elongate. So then do not hold and keep that tension in our body when we were strengthening. We now release that tension through our breaths. One more. And then sit up with your forward fold and then walk the hands through centre all the way over to the left leg. And again, we don't want to bring that right hip with you, so try to bring the right hip back and then square your shoulders, and then forward fold. That's it. And it may be millimeters. Whatever it is, just close your eyes. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. Everybody has their own mobility and sensations. And for some people, like for me, my hips are a disaster. So I'm super tight in the hips, but then I might be super flexible at something else or super strong at something else. So everybody's different. One more breath. Breathe in. And on the out breath, straighten up the torso. And then take your cord blocks to one side. And lean and take your foam block to one side. And then just like we did at the start of the class, palm fingers behind your hip. Lean back into your hand. lovely part here when we bring the legs together. And then give them a shake. So you definitely feel it in your hips tomorrow. That's it. Give them a shake. And if you have any jumpers that you'd like to put on before we come into relaxation, we're going to come down onto our backs. So grab your clothes now. And then scoot your bum forward on your mat. Place your hands behind your knees, just holding onto your hamstrings, your thighs, and then lower all the way down onto your mat. Taking your knees with you into your chest. Placing your hands on top of your knees, lengthening your spine, and then rocking your body from side to side. Coming to center and place both hands on top of your right shin or knee, and then extend your left leg away, flexing your left foot, heel towards the floor or on the floor, and then taking your right knee into your chest, circling your right ankle a few times. One way and then the other way. And then you're going to change sides. So release the right foot to the floor, slide your left foot up, left knee to the chest, hold it onto the left shin or knee, and extend the right leg away. Right foot is flexed, heel to the floor, and circle your left foot. That's it. One way, and then the other way. And then release the left foot to the mat, slide your right foot up, open your knees away from one another, and bring the soles of the feet together. So we were doing Supta or Baddha Konasana, kneeling, when we were holding onto our feet. So this is Supta Baddha Konasana, lying in cobra pose. So take and place your right palm on your belly and your left palm on your heart. Close your eyes and just reconnect to your breath. Breathing in, feel your chest rise into the back of your palm of your left hand, and feel your belly rise into the palm of your right hand. And as you exhale, release and let go. 3 more times. Breathing in to the chest, the ribs and the belly. Exhaling. One more time. Releasing both hands away to the floor. A few inches away from your body, palms rotated. Slowly bring the knees up to the ceiling. And then extend your right leg away and your left leg. Shavasana. Just take a few breaths just to feel comfortable without the need to move or fidget. Quietening the mind, acknowledging any thoughts that race into it. And then just like clouds in the sky float past, just place those thoughts on clouds and let them float on by until another one arrives. Keep allowing them to float by until you find any gaps between those clouds. And if the mind continues to race, then just repeat the mantra. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Take your awareness to the crown of your head. Relax the crown of your head, back of your head, sides of your head, forehead. Relax your eyebrows, eyebrow center, eyelids and eyes, nose, nostrils, cheeks, ears. Upper lip, lower lip. Unclench your teeth, remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Relax your jaw and your chin. Relax your throat and neck, tops of your shoulders, collarbones, chest and heart, front ribs, side ribs, back ribs, belly, belly button, hips, pelvis, thighs, knees, shins, ankles, tops of your feet, big toes, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, soles of your feet, heels, calves, backs of your knees, hamstrings, buttocks, lower back, middle back, upper back. Relax your shoulders, your armpits, your upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists. Relax your thumbs, your fingers, forefinger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, back of your hands and the palm of your hands. Relax all the muscles of your body, ligaments, tendons, joints, fascia. Your arms, your legs, your torso, your head, every part of your body completely relaxed, supported by the floor. The tension is evaporating from your body, giving yourself permission to relax. Without the sun, without the mountains and the rivers, all conspiring together, you simply would not be. Feel light not on you, but in you. Feel the wind not over you, but through you. Feel the earth's oceans beating through your veins. Feel an eternal springtime blossoming inside you. Rest in life's endless embrace as it carries you in and beyond. At the intersection of energy, matter and flow, mind, senses and soul. Let it all go and come to know lasting peace. From your in-breath and contraction when you exhale. Take your awareness to the parts of your body connected to your mat. And the space that your body takes up on the mat and on the floor in the studio surroundings. Take your awareness to the sounds outside the studio. And then take your awareness to the sensations in your body, the pulsations, the vibrations. And then take your awareness to your hands and to your feet. And slowly weakening up your body, wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Then relax. Relax your hands and relax your feet. Gauge your tummy a little. And slide your gaze one at a time up towards your sit bones, knees to the ceiling. Take a moment to allow your spine to adjust. And when you're ready, take your knees into your chest, holding onto the tops of your knees. Give them a gentle squeeze and rock your body from side to side. Coming back to center. Reach your right Sitting up tall, relaxing your shoulders and bringing your hands together in prayer. Rub the palms together, your feet, and then place them over your eyes. Allow the heat to penetrate to your eyes, and then open your eyes behind your hands. Squeeze them shut open, squeeze them shut open. Look up, down, to the right, to the left. Rotate your eyes clockwise, anti-clockwise. And then close them again behind your palms and bring your palms together in front of your heart. Take this opportunity now and just think of a positive affirmation. Something short, 3 words, and repeat it to yourself. Take a deep breath in here, lengthen and lift your heart. And on the exhale, bow your chin into your chest. Inhale and turn the corners of your mouth up to your eyes. Flutter your eyelids open.